Hi and welcome to my North Knit Corner. My name is Anne and I come to you from the south of Norway, where I live with my husband and our 3 boys. Welcome back if you have been here before, and welcome if you are here for the first time. Usually I sit here and I chat about all my knitting projects, but today will be a different episode. Today we will kick off a Knitalong, my first Knitalong on this channel, and I am very excited. But before we start, I just want to say that as usual I will have timestamps on this episode, and I will have information about everything I talk about in the description box below. I am so excited to kick off this Knitalong, and this Knitalong will be knitting any of Herbgarden Knitwear's patterns. Herbgarden Knitwear is the designer Hanna. She's in Germany, and Hanna has so many beautiful patterns, and I really hope that you want to join me knitting one or several of her patterns this fall. Hanna has a YouTube channel called Herbgarden Knitwear with a wonderful podcast where you can follow her design journey, and she shares of her knowledge, and she's such a warm and lovely person, and I really recommend that you go check out her podcast if you haven't already. Today I want to talk a little bit about some of her designs to give you some inspiration, and I hope that you see something that you want to cast on and join in this Knitalong. We can start with some summer patterns. Here in Norway we hopefully have a month of summer left, hopefully with more sun, because it's been a lot of rain here. But I am really in the summer knitting mode, so I'm ready for more summer knitting. But I have already knitted a couple of Hanna's summer patterns, and the first one is the Feldspar Tee, which I am wearing. The recommended yarn is Sandnes Line, which is a cotton, linen and viscose blend. It has these beautiful pearl ridges on it, and it's knitted bottom up. You knit up in a round and you cast off under the arms, and then you knit the back and the front flat, and you seam them together in the top with a 3-needle bind off and pick up stitches for the sleeves. It's a very easy knit and it's perfect for beginner knitters. It has a gauge of 19 stitches and 30 rows on 10 centimeters. The recommended needles are 4mm US 6, and it has size range from 1 to 22, and with a bust circumference from 77 centimeters to 165.5 centimeters, and that is 30.25 inches to 65 inches. And this is something Hanna is really good at, and I think she really strives to get a lot of sizes and a big size range. So she's very size inclusive, which is amazing. So that's the Feldspar Tee, and I just want to apologize for looking down a lot, but I'm just looking at my notes. I just want to give you all the correct information, so I hope you can bear with me. The next one that I also knitted is the Seaborn Tee, and I really enjoy knitting this one. It has this beautiful shell pattern on the bottom and on the sleeves, and it has stripes, which is so much fun. This is also recommended in Sandnes Line. I have knitted in another yarn called Reyna Sweater, if I'm remembering right. It's a cotton yarn. Yeah. let me see. Yeah, it has this beautiful shell pattern, which I really enjoyed knitting. Also knitted bottom up, and you close the shoulder with a 3 needle bind off. The gauge is 20 stitches, 28 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needle 4.5 millimeter US 7, and it has 27 sizes for the body, and then you have 17 sizes for the sleeves, so you can choose the body size and then you can choose your sleeve size separately, so that is wonderful. The bust circumference is from 56 centimeters to 238 centimeters, and that is 22 inches to 93.75 inches. And it has a recommendation 8 to 10 centimeters of positive ease, which is 3.25 inches to 4 inches of positive ease. The next summer pattern that I want to show you is the Thar Tank top. It's a sleeveless top with a beautiful lace motif. And if I have understood this correctly, I think you have several options for how to place the lace, and you also have option for a V-neck or a round neck. It's knitted in 2 strands of Sanne's thin line, or thin line. Yeah, it's the same as Sanne's line, it's just a thinner version. The fingering weight, I think. The gauge is 18 stitches and 26 rows on 10 centimeters, and recommended needles are 4 and 4.5 millimeters, or US 6 and 7. It is sizes 2 extra small to 5XL, with the bust circumference of 66.5 centimeters to 166.5 centimeters. And that is 26.25 inches to 65.5 inches. And this summer top is so beautiful with this lace, and you have several options for how you want it or how you can knit it, so it's perfect. And then I want to show you a very beautiful sweater. It is the Reyna Sweater, and it's a very light, or it looks a very light, like a light sweater, which is perfect for spring, into summer and into the early fall. It's knitted in a merino cotton blend, Osterman merino cotton, and it's a light fingering yarn. Very elegant and beautiful, with the lace is around the neck or on the top of the body, and it's knitted from the top down. It has a gauge of 25 stitches and 36 rows on 10 centimeters, and recommended needles are 3.5 millimeters, and that is US 4, with the size range from 1 to 15, and that is a bust circumference of 67 centimeters to 150.5 centimeters. In inches, that is 26.5 to 59.25 inches. And you're supposed to have a positive ease of 1 to 2 centimeters, or 0.5 to 0.75 inches. Okay, let's go over to sweaters, because fall and winter is coming. And we want to prepare for that. So the first sweater I want to show you is, and I'm going to say this so wrong, so I'm very sorry, but I will write it on the screen. It's the Wesekh Sweater. And this has the recommended yarn of Drops Flora and Drops Kid Silk. It's a round yoke with vertical and horizontal stripes. I think this sweater is so cool, and it's definitely on my knit wish list. Yeah, it has a circular yoke, and it's knitted from the top down, and it has short rows in the neck, which I love. It has a gauge of 17 stitches and 24 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needles is 3.5 and 4.5 millimeters, US 4 and 7. It has the sizes of 2 extra small to 5XL with a bust circumference of 73 to 146 centimeters, which is 28.75 inches to 57.5 inches. This is such a cool sweater. I really like this one. Okay, and then there is a brand new pattern called the Poise Sweater, and when I first saw this, I just immediately fell in love with it. So I'm so excited to knit this. This will be my first knit in this Knitalong. The Poise Sweater is knitted in 2 strands of Holst super soft yarn, and I have some super soft yarn on the way because I really want to try it, and now was the perfect excuse to order some Holst super soft. So I'm excited to get that in the mail. This is a sweater knitted top down, and it has this beautiful structure and also color work. And the structure looks like cables, but I don't think it is. And the gauge is 20 stitches and 32 rows on 10 centimeters. And the recommended needles is 4 millimeter, US 6. It has sizes 1 to 18, which has a bust circumference of 75 centimeters to 160 centimeters. And in inches, that is 29.5 to 63 inches. And the recommended ease is 2 to 5 centimeter and 0.75 inches to 2 inches of positive ease. This is such a beautiful sweater, and I've seen so many beautiful versions, so I am so excited to knit this one. Another one that I'm very excited to knit is the Boughs of Holly sweater. I've had this in my library difficult words in my Ravelry library for a while because I want this as my Christmas sweater this year. It doesn't have to be a Christmas sweater. It can be for fall and winter as well. So I probably will use it before Christmas, but I like to have a Christmas sweater every year, and this year it's the Boughs of Holly. Hanna has knitted this in BC Garn Loch Lemon. I think it's a DK yarn. When I looked at my Ravelry, Drops Nepal was suggested as yarn for this sweater, but I have gotten something else. I already got my yarn ready to go. And this is Sandnesgarn Baby Ull Lanette in this beautiful green color, really Christmas green. Woo. Okay, I throw that away, so we'll just find another one. This is the 100% merino wool, and together with this one, this is Sanne Sisus on another yarn. I bought this on sale, so I just found the colors that I wanted. So Sanne Sisu also has some nylon in it. I think this will be a very nice Boughs of Holly sweater, so I'm very excited to knit that. yeah, it has a beautiful, beautiful color work on it, which really gives me Christmas vibes. The gauge is 18 stitches and 28 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needles 4 and 4.5 millimeters, which is US 6 and 7. The sizes is from 2XL to 5XL, which is a bust circumference of 80 centimeters to 140 centimeters, 31.5 inches to 55 inches. And recommended positive ease is 2 to 4 centimeters, which is 0.75 to 1.5 inches. So I have 2 sweaters from Hanna that I want to knit this fall, and I'm so excited to start. The next sweater I want to show you is a very, very beautiful sweater. It has such a beautiful yoke, is that the right word? Yeah, on the top of the sweater, so beautiful. And it's the Vivyen Sweater. The recommended yarn here is Osterman Merino Cotton. It's so elegant. I think it's yeah, really, really beautiful. It's knitted top down and has this beautiful yoke with structure. And I also think it has some bubbles in it. Very, very beautiful. And it also goes from this round yoke over in a raglan, which gives it a perfect fit. It has the gauge of 25 stitches, 34 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needle is 3.5 millimeters, which is US 4. And sizes 2X extra small to 6XL, with a bust circumference from 75 centimeters to 155 centimeters. In inches, that is 29.5 to 61 inches. And recommended positive ease is 2 to 4 centimeters, which is 0.75 inches to 1.5 inches. So another beautiful sweater. The next pattern I want to share with you is a slipover. And this slipover has been on my knitting wish list ever since I saw Hanna post about it on Instagram. And it's the Chainmail Slipover. This slipover is knitted in Reyna Sweater, and it's 100% Norwegian wool. And it's one of my favorite yarns. And it's knitted in 2 strands of Reyna Sweater. It's a very cute cropped slipover with seed stitch, and it has this very cool wells on the neck and the hem, and it's so cool. It's so you can use it over a blouse, over a shirt, over a dress, and it's so beautiful, and beautiful in all colors. So I definitely want to knit this in the future. It's knitted bottom up, and the gauge is 16 stitches and 30 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needle is 3 millimeters and 5 millimeters. It's US 2.5 and 8. The sizes goes from 1 to 18, and that is a bust circumference of 71.5 to 157.5 centimeters. In inches, that is 28 to 62 inches. And recommended positive ease is from 0 to 2 centimeters or 0 to 0.75 inches. Then I think we will look at some beautiful shawls, because Hanna has beautiful shawl designs. And I've knitted one of them because she had a shawl call last year on her shawls, and I joined that, and I knitted this Ardent autumn shawl. and it has these beautiful cables on it. And I think it's not ribbing, but the line, I'm not sure what you call this in English, but I really like the end of the shawl, or it's not a hem even. Yeah, but it's really beautiful, and I really love the color I chose. I think it's so, oh, it gives me the beautiful fall colors vibe. And I used this so much last fall and winter, and definitely going to use it this year as well. I've knitted mine in Drops Soft Tweed in the color Carrot Cake. Hanna have knitted in Rain Cloud and Sage Origin. It's a yarn I never heard about before, but I think it's a DK yarn, because I got Drops Charisma suggested to me, and Drops Soft Tweed works perfect for it. It's a triangular shawl, knitted from the top down, and beautiful cables on it. The gauge is 17 stitches and 26 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needles is 4 and 4.5 and 5 millimeter needles. Can't read my own writing here. Which is US 7 and 8. So such a beautiful design. I highly recommend knitting this. It was a lot of fun. But she has so many beautiful shawls. So the next one I want to share with you is the Savoring shawl. She has knitted this in raw and felted tweed, but Drop Soft Tweed is also a recommended yarn. And it has this beautiful yarn over pattern. I'm just trying to think from my Norwegian to English. And bubbles, and it has garter stitch, and it's really, really nice. So maybe that's what I'm going to knit this year, if she has another shawl cal. We'll see. I've never knitted bubbles before, so that would be fun. The gauge is 16 stitches and 32 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needle is 4.5 millimeters, which is a US 7, and it is 2 sizes, a small one and a big one. Another beautiful shawl. And then there is some hats. Hanna has a lot of beautiful hat designs as well, and I have chosen to show you 2 of them today. One I have knitted, and it's the Monument hat. I've knitted 3 of them. And you can see this beautiful cable design. The recommended yarn here, or it is unspun yarn, 2 strands of unspun yarn and 1 strand of mohair. At the time when I wanted to knit this, I didn't have unspun yarn in my stash, but I wanted to try and knit it in some leftovers I had of Sandnes Kos, which is a blown yarn, and it worked out perfectly to knit this Monument hat in that yarn. I also knitted in another yarn, but I think it's called Puno, but I'm not sure which brand it is, because it was a yarn that I got some samples of when I was at a knitting festival. I had 3 different colors and I just put them together. But I was so lucky that a knitting friend sent me 2 cakes of unspun yarn from Hillesvåg. So during this Knitalong, I really want to knit this Monument hat in the correct yarn this time, unspun yarn, together with mohair. And Hanna also writes that on her page on Ravelry that this is a perfect beginner project for people who hasn't tried unspun yarn before. And I have never tried unspun yarn before, so I'm very excited to try that. Yeah. The gauge is 15 stitches and 23 rows on 10 centimeters. And recommended needle is 6 millimeters, which is US 10, so it's a fast project. And it also is very engaging with the cables. It has sizes 1 to 5 with the head circumference from 51 to 63 centimeters or 20 to 25 inches. And you're supposed to have 4 to 5 centimeters of negative ease, which is 1.5 to 2 inches. Yeah. And the next hat I want to show you is, it's so beautiful. I definitely have to knit this one. If you've been here before, you know that I am making myself a box of Christmas hats. And I just realized when I looked at the picture of this hat that this is also perfect for my Christmas hat box. So I definitely want to knit this one. And it's the Season's Greetings hat. So beautiful, with this beautiful color work with the snowflake design. And it's in a Fair Isle style, so you only knit with 2 colors per round. But there is, I think it's 5 colors that you need, but only 2 colors at the time, which is perfect for me, at least. And this is beautiful with all color combinations. It's, yeah, it's beautiful. So I'm excited to knit this one as well. Yeah, I could start that right now. Maybe I should start that now. The yarn recommended is BC Garn Loch Lormond. 100% wool yarn, TK. The gauge is 23 stitches and 25 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needle is 4 millimeter or US 6. The sizes is from 1 to 3, which is a head circumference of 39 to 55 centimeters. In inches, that is 15.25 to 21.75 inches. Such a beautiful hat. Oh, I got very excited now. I really want to cast that hat on. But we'll see, we'll see. Okay, I also wanted to show you a beautiful headband. Hanna also have several headbands to choose from, but this is the one that I really caught my eye because it has beautiful cables, and it's the Linna Headband. The yarn recommended is Long Yarns Airolo. It's a yarn I have never heard about before, but it's an Aran weight. And this is, like I said, a very cool cabled headband. The gauge is 16 stitches, 22 rows on 10 centimeters. Recommended needles is 6 millimeters and US, which is a US 10. And it's 1 size. Very, very cool headband. The last pattern I want to share with you, it's a pair of socks. If you have followed Hanna on her YouTube channel and her Instagram, you have seen that she recently, or it's maybe a few months ago, she started knitting socks. If I have understand correctly, that is not something she has done so much before, but I think she has been really into socks lately. And she's designed a beautiful sock pattern, and it's the Seaborn Socks. And it's the same beautiful shell stitch as on this Seaborn Tee. and it's on the cuff. You have this beautiful shell pattern. And of course stripes. So fun. And it is knitted from the cuff down with a heel flap and gusset, and the gauge is 28 stitches, 36 rows and 10 centimeters. Recommended needles is 3 millimeters, which is a US 2.5. The sizes goes from 1 to 5, and the foot circumference is from 40.5 centimeters to 28.5 centimeters, and in inches that is 5.75 to 11.25 inches. The yarn, I forgot to tell you, recommended is retrospect. I think that is the yarn that doesn't have any nylon in it. I've never tried it before. I would love to try it. But you can also use Filcolana Avetta or another fingering yarn for these socks. Yeah, that is all the patterns I want to share with you, but there are many more beautiful patterns from Hanna on you can find them on Ravelry, and I will of course link below so you can find them. I really hope that you want to join me in this Knitalong to knit Herbgarden Knitwear designs. There are so many beautiful designs to choose from, and I am very excited. The Knitalong will start today, 4th of August, and go until the 30th of November. So we have a lot of time to knit and enjoy all the beautiful patterns from Hanna. Hanna is so kind and generous that she has given us a coupon code that we can use for this Knitalong. 20% off all her self-published patterns within 2023. Thank you so much, Hanna. I will write the code on the screen and of course in the description box below. It's important that you put in the code during checkout in Ravelry. It cannot be used in retrospect. Yeah. So I hope you take advantage of the generous offer and join me in knitting one or several of Hanna's beautiful patterns. The Knitalong will go on Instagram, and I made a hashtag where you can put in your finished objects, and I will write it on the screen. It's Herbgarden KW Cal 23. And this Knitalong will be on both my Norwegian channel and this, so that is a lot of fun. I hope a lot of you want to join, and I hope you got a lot of inspiration today. I didn't show all of Hanna's patterns because if I did, we would be here for a while, but I will put in some of her patterns that I didn't show at the end of this episode. Yeah. So I just want to thank you for joining me for this kickoff for the Herbgarden Cal Knitalong. And I will come back next week with a regular podcast episode. Until then, I hope you're well. I hope you are knitting on something fun, something that gives you joy. And yeah, take care. And I will see you next week. Bye!